All right, music fans, welcome back. It is Dave, the Real Music Observer, coming at you here with more real music in real time for real people just like you right there and just like me. Uh, it doesn't get any more real than Gerry Rafferty. Gerry left planet Earth early in 2011. Uh, I believe he may have been kind of a tortured soul, a bit depressed. I know alcoholism played a role in his demise, but man, was this guy talented. Steelers Wheel, stuck in the middle with you. Look, Steelers Wheel is worth going back to listen to uh, in just a broader context because they're just a great band. And he and Joe Egan wrote a lot of songs together, and the material is just fantastic. What I've noticed is a lot of the Steelers Wheel stuff isn't really available, other than Stuck in the Middle with You. You have to search it out. You have to find it to hear it. But if you liked Gerry Rafferty's solo material, which came later, it's worth going back to listen to more of what Steelers Wheel was all about. City to City, one of the most brilliant albums you'll ever encounter. Just Baker Street, right down the line, Home and Dry. Those are the radio airplay tunes. I remember growing up again on Cape Cod, and we had the adult contemporary station battle. Who could be more AC than the other station? And then one station out on the lower Cape was playing more album-oriented adult contemporary music. So that was where I gravitated to because it wasn't just the cookie cutter stuff. And these are the guys who are playing stuff off of Gerry's next album, which was called Night Owl, which again received a lot of airplay. Not as much as the prior album, but the trilogy of albums with Snakes and Ladders. And you can identify them by the cover art, which is kind of cartoony. It's like a painting of Rafferty. And then the second album is the same. Then the third one has almost like this clown motif. And they're all, those three albums would be probably your time capsule to put your Gerry Rafferty music in and to shoot it into outer space. Just tremendous songwriting, a gift for interesting and somewhat complicated melodies, but still very listenable, very introspective, a little on the dark side, a little on the questioning side, but very sincere, and a voice, by the way, that's very haunting and very distinctive. Now, Gerry had some issues. Again, kind of a tortured soul. His personality, I know, was always wrestling with this idea of success, but then when he became successful, it was almost a double curse on the guy because he was railing against the thing that he became. And it was just bizarre to watch him kind of unravel. I remember when, I think it was Polygram Records, sent me a copy of North and South, and I was in radio at that time, loved Gerry Rafferty. I immediately added whatever tune they wanted me to add to the playlist because North and South to me, not only was it a comeback album, but I thought it was an interesting, it had a more complete start to finish sound. I'm trying to think of the song that they made us play first off of it. I want to say it might have been Moonlight and Gold or Tired of Talkin'. I think both of those tunes got some airplay. I'm pretty sure Tired of Talkin' might have been the first radio single to rock stations. But I went in and listened to that album thoroughly, and the Celtic influence was even more pronounced. The songwriting to me was as good as anything he'd ever accomplished up until that point. And it looked as though this guy was making a comeback. He had a couple more albums that came out after this in the early 90s. He was releasing music to fans as time went on, as the internet became popular, and he kind of glommed onto the technology so he could avoid all of this record industry stuff that apparently got under his skin. And in 2011, like I say, he succumbed to depression and alcoholism and really lived a very secluded, very tortured existence for much of his life. But there's no question that this guy had something completely his own, and it was special. I think, the Scottish and Celtic music that he was influenced by really informed what he was doing, and really gave it something complicated and interesting. And it's music too that when you listen to it lyrically speaking, you hear all kinds of depth. You hear somebody who's kind of wrestling with large issues, and it's very personal. So I think that's what appealed to a lot of folks. And maybe it was just this fantastic saxophone solo on Baker Street, which is one of those epic moments in rock. It's like David Gilmour's guitar solo on Comfortably Numb. It's just, you're just like, you're listening to it, and everybody knows that solo. And it was Rafferty, by the way, who actually put that melodic line in the song. It was disputed for a while with the saxophone player who put the track down with Rafferty, but it comes to light that Gerry actually had a demo with a guitar on it, and he wrote the entire piece. So one of the greats, completely left planet Earth way too early. Don't know if he would have made more of a comeback into his 60s, and he would have been about, 70 now. So it's a shame. We lose him, and we got to remember him and keep this music alive, keep this torch lit. If you don't know Gerry Rafferty or some of his other music other than the City to City album, I would suggest listening to North and South. I would also suggest Snakes and Ladders. I would also suggest going back into the Steelers Wheel archive, because you actually get maybe a little bit more of a pop rock and folk element back there. And if you like Stuck in the Middle with You, I have a feeling you'll like some of the other tunes as well. All right, that's it for my video. The late, great Gerry Rafferty. It doesn't get much better than what he accomplished as a singer, songwriter, and performer. I'm Dave, and I will be back with more real music in real time for real people, just like you right there. And just like me, we'll do it again real soon, and I'll talk to you then.